Oh, sorry. I was just admiring a piece of art. And it's good timing too, because this game's prequel, Dark Souls 1, is actually turning 10 years old this year. I would much rather play this though. But I guess this works too.
The Soulsborne series, apparently the hardest games in the entire universe according to the people who only know the games off the You Died memes. And all those iconic memes spawned from Dark Souls 1. Sure, Demon Souls, which had come out 2 years prior, was the original, but Dark Souls 1 is truly what skyrocketed the franchise into the mainstream. A game so good that it made a whole new genre. What made Dark Souls 1 such a successful game?
Probably the memes and marketing.
And sure, the focus on difficulty and all the memes and marketing definitely put eyes on the game. But there's no way that somebody would put 40 plus hours into a game because of some memes. No, this game and this franchise has more to it than that. So let's try to dissect what made Dark Souls 1 so great. Well, like every RPG, you start off in a character creator. I made my guy look like this, and his name's Franklin. Then immediately after creating your character, you get thrown into a cutscene introducing you to the world. And this is the first thing I love about the franchise. At the time of this game's release, gaming was plagued with games that just shoved the story down your throat. Sure, for some games like Uncharted, it made sense. That game was story driven, but for other games like Saints Row, I kinda just want to play the damn game. And that's where Dark Souls differentiates itself. This is one of the few cutscenes in this game. There's only around 3 in total. Sure, there's dialogue that could explain what's going on, but if you don't care about any of the lore, you can just play this whole game without even knowing what the hell you're supposed to be doing.
And that's basically what I did on my first playthrough.
I'm not gonna get into it here because it'll probably take like 3 hours to explain everything, and that's no exaggeration. To put it simply, it's all Gwyn's fault, the end. Once the cutscene ends, you wake up in a prison cell and Jesus Christ, what the fuck have they done to my boy? You get the key to your cell dropped onto you, you find the bonfire, and you find the Asylum demon.
I'm gonna do it with the broken straight sword. How the fuck did that even hit me? I'm gonna have to improvise. I told you I could do it. Also, that's a broken straight sword.
The Undead Asylum and Asylum Demon is such a good way to introduce you to this game. Honestly, the Undead Asylum is probably my favorite tutorial area on this entire franchise. Just teaching you so many things in such a short span of time. Some enemies fight in close quarters, some at range, how to deal with shields, how to deal with multiple enemies, how to do the plunging attack, preparing yourself for all the traps in the game. Here's a picture of Sen's Fortress for no reason. The Asylum Demon is also great, but his design and lore is definitely pretty boring. I would much rather take a tutorial boss like Gundire over him.
And the last giant's better than both because Dark Souls 2 is better than both.
After this, you get abducted by a bird. And here we are in Firelink Shrine, and what a fucking hub area this is. Firstly, it's just so beautiful looking. The sun rays beaming down on all the grass, the beautiful view. Although I must say, the Nexus, Majula, and Hunter's Dream are all more beautiful looking in my opinion. But this game's Firelink looks way better than Dark Souls 3's Firelink.
But anyone can say that about themselves. Dark Souls 3's Firelink looked like dog shit.
The characters here are also really cool, except for this guy, fuck this guy. And I love the fact that there's actually merchants outside of Firelink, unlike Dark Souls 3. And the best part is the way it just so seamlessly connects to everything. You could go here, or here, or here, or even here. This interconnectivity is done so well in Firelink, and in Dark Souls 1 as a whole. You could literally go to late game locations like New Londo Ruins and the Catacombs and Tomb of the Giants right off the bat if you're brave, or like me, dumb enough.
The first time I played this game, I spent the first 15 minutes trying to get to the Catacombs before I realized how much of a dumbass I was.
Obviously, the first area this game wants you to go is Undead Burg, which is a great starting area. The enemies are placed in areas where the player can clearly see what they're supposed to do, except for these assholes throwing bombs at you. I love Undead Burg. It's a perfect starting area, and honestly, I think it's my favorite next to Yharnam from Bloodborne. Then you get into your first real boss fight with the Taurus Demon. This is a great fight too. This is similar to the Asylum Demon, but they raise the difficulty up just a bit with the arena you're in. Instead of being in a big open room like the Asylum Demon, you're on a claustrophobic bridge with this giant, and there's 2 archers being little dickheads if you weren't wary of your surroundings. As a first timer, he actually gave me a hard time, but now he's pretty simple.
You can also cheese the boss, but beating it normally is honestly probably easier than doing that.
After this, you ran into the best NPC ever.
I am Solaire of Astora, an adherent of the Lord of Sunlight.
And then it's time for a nice little Demon Souls reference.
Okay, Dragon, if you could just not be an asshole, I really don't feel like losing these souls. Are you fucking kidding me?
After this, you can make it to the Suicidal Bowl with a very nice ass.
Alright, I just need to tap you. Tell me you're liking it. Okay, never mind.
Then we find this bonfire and our first blacksmith, Andre. You can use him to repair and level up all your weapons and armor, although he can't make any fire weapons. For that, you're gonna have to look for other blacksmiths. The skeleton in the catacombs are the giant in Anor Londo. The skeleton can make fire weapons and the giant sells the giant set, so Andre's the most useless blacksmith in the game. I don't care though, I still probably used him the most compared to the others. After finding his bonfire, you're supposed to continue up to the church and fight the Bell Gargoyles. On my first playthrough, I didn't know that and went to Darkroot Garden, and down to the Valley of the Drakes, and then the back of Blight Town where I ran into a locked door. So you go to the gargoyles, but before that you go to this room that Dark Souls 2 must have been really inspired by, where you just fight endless hordes of hollows for no reason. And now it's time for the gargoyles for real this time, and honestly, I like this boss fight. You start off with a 1v1 and it's nothing special, but as soon as your confidence starts to go up, BAM! The second one drops in. With this second asshole, the boss goes from easy to hell, because this second guy will not fucking stop with his shitty fucking fire breath. But before you beat them, this is the first boss whose tail you could actually cut off for a weapon, the gargoyle tail axe.
But that's technically not true because you can cut the red dragon's tail off with a drake sword. Even though it's not a dragon or a drake, it's a wyvern.
Once you beat the first gargoyle, this boss becomes fairly easy. You roll around his fire and smack his ass till he's dead. After this, you can now ring the first bell of awakening, make the crestfallen warrior a little sad, and get the basement key and head down to this dog-infested town. Straight to one of the most bullshit bosses ever, the Capra Demon.
Okay, Capra Demon, don't attack me instantly, please. Go fuck yourself. This is too hard. I'm gonna need the ultimate build.
The Giant Dad, the most broken set in maybe the entire franchise. I haven't brought up the online for this game yet. Basically, you can either help people by letting them summon you to help them with a boss, or hinder them by invading their world and having a 1v1 for materials. In theory, these 1v1s should be badass duels, but this is Dark Souls 1, the most unbalanced game in the franchise. So basically, 1v1s look like this, or even this. No other set in this game was as broken as the Giant Dad, wielding some of the heaviest armor in this game that lets you practically poise through all attacks, and at the same time being able to fast roll with this armor, which is meant to be heavy as a punishment for the insane poise. And if that wasn't enough, you have the Chaos Zweihander, which is broken. This is a set that's broken for PvP and broken for PvE.
So fuck it, why not? I want to break the game, so let's build it.
Here we are back in Undead Asylum. Here's the Asylum Demon, choppity chop. And back to Firelink, but for this set we're gonna need to go down to the hardest area in the game, the Catacombs, a level 40 to 60 area to get the Zweihander and try to fight the hardest boss in the game for the Father Mask. But in order to get to that boss, I have to drop down here.
Okay, let's try that again. Oh wow! Never mind. I just have to make this drop. There we go. Are you fucking kidding me?
You make it down to a bonfire, and then to another bonfire, and get ready because that drop was nothing, because now it's time for the wheel skeletons.
Leave me alone, you spitting fuck. I'm almost there, I've almost made... What? Why? Alright guys, don't mind me, I'm just gonna walk over to the... Just leave me alone! I'm still alive, drink the flask! Drink the fucking wine!
After that hell, it's time for Pinwheel, likely the easiest boss in the franchise, and I still have no idea why he's here.
Alright, Pinwheel, just fall over and die already so I can see if I get the mask or not. There we go, first try. And did I get the mask? No, I did not. So what you're meant to do if you don't get the mask is reset the game and do the catacombs all over again. I'm too lazy to do that. What a fucking waste of time.
So next we have to go to Darkroot Garden to meet Havel and steal his ring. Congratulations, you now have Havel's ring, which allows you to carry more without slowing down. Without a doubt, one of the most useful rings in this game. The problem is you don't have a lot of options because you only have 2 ring slots in this game. So in Dark Souls 2, they increased the amount of rings you could carry from 2 to 4. This was a wonderful improvement that was brought back in Dark Souls 3. So going back to Dark Souls 1 just feels so fucking limiting with only 2 slots. And technically it's only one slot, since the Ring of Favor and Protection is going to be the other slot for the entire game, which breaks as soon as you take it off. And that's probably the best ring in this game, so don't take it off. But with how much I love Dark Souls 1, this ring system is definitely outdated now. Like, I get why they did it for balance. It's harder to make overpowered builds with only 2 rings.
I take back everything I just said.
Then it's time for the Taurus Demon again. Then it's time for the Gargoyles again. Alright, here we go, and goodbye Tail. And goodbye Gargoyle. What probably took me 8 hours on my first playthrough, I just did in like 30 minutes. Now it's time for the hardest area in this game.
Alright, Blight Town.
Fuck Blight Town. I mean, it's one of the most memorable areas in the franchise, but fuck it. You know, I've never been a very big fan of the very annoying and boring poisonous pool sections that these games always have. Here's a picture of Fair and Keep for no reason. I don't like that trope. I never have and I never will. Why does From Software insist upon putting it in every single one of their games? Stop it, you heartless monsters. Don't you dare touch Elden Ring. Anyways, now I'm done talking about the very annoying and boring poisonous pool sections. I must say that I think Blight Town does it the best in the franchise. For majority of it, you're walking up here, which is a confusing mess of torches, wood, monsters, this fucking bridge, and these fucking toxic fucks. Never mind, maybe it's worse up here. Once you make it to the very annoying and boring poisonous pool sections, it's actually not as long as the others. There's a bonfire right there if you can survive the poison.
I'm so close, I'm so close. The bonfire is right there. I'm gonna die. No.
The problem is, because of the shitty run up to Quelaag, you're most likely gonna be fighting her fucking poison. Isn't that fun? But you're not beating around the bush. It's time to talk about Quelaag, and holy shit. This boss is definitely unique. I don't think I'd be able to think of a hot naked chick attached to a giant spider as a boss, but Miyazaki did. Good for you and all your fucked up thoughts, Miyazaki. But it was honestly never that hard. It just felt like a waiting game. You just wait for the spider to shoot out its lava so you can get some smacks in. Literally, it's just dodge, sword swing, dodge, orgasm, dodge, sword swing, dodge legs, smack. For 5 minutes. Actually, like 15 goddamn minutes, because I'm using the fucking flame Zweihander, and as you can see, that is a flame spider. So yeah, this overpowered build isn't very overpowered for this fight. Once you finally put Quelaag out of her misery, you can ring the second bell and open up Sen's Fortress. I fucking love this area. The House of 1,000 Traps, even though there isn't 1,000 traps, is one of my favorite areas in the whole franchise. As soon as you walk in, you get hit by a bunch of darts.
And don't lie, we both know you got hit by that trap.
And then this place just keeps on ramping it up, swinging axes that I got hit by because I was an impatient idiot.
Oh, I'm alive! Okay, just get... Never mind.
Then straight into a boulder.
Wait. Holy fuck, how did I survive that? God.
Then you get to an area where you can control the boulder to break certain areas to get certain items. And there's so many items here. But the only thing I really need here is the Soul of Hero through this wall.
Alright, friend, if you could just open this wall for me. No, that's the wrong attack. Thank you for opening the wall. Do your poking attack. You're poking. Do your fucking poking attack! There, thank you. Thank you so much.
And finally, after that torturous trek, you can make it up to the top of Sen's Fortress. So the first time I went through Sen's Fortress, I didn't know his bonfire was here. And the Iron Golem took me like 8 tries, so I had to do Sen's Fortress, the entirety of it, 8 times, because this bonfire placement is cancer. I mean, I did it, I still love this location, so whatever, but still, fuck you, Miyazaki. But who cares, I found the bonfire, and now it's time for the Iron Golem, which honestly, is a pretty good boss fight. The only problem is that it's a lazy boss fight. Iron Golem is Tower Knight from Demon Souls, but more boring. Let's just get that out of the way.
Alright, let's do this, Iron Golem. Wait, put me down. And right in the Goodbye, Tower Knight.
And after that is Anor Londo, and I'm just gonna say it. This might be the most beautiful area in the whole franchise. The whole castle just looks amazing, and the way the sun that isn't even real just beams off of it is so beautiful. I love Anor Londo so much. What I don't love is the KKK.
Wait. You fucking asshole.
This balancing part is cancer, especially on an analog stick where the slightest twitch will send your character all the way down to the ground floor. Once you're done with the KKK, you make it here, and if you thought it was gonna get easier, these archers are here to ruin your day. And if you thought the game was gonna lighten up after that, this boss fight took me 9 hours the first time I fought them. Probably the most iconic boss in Dark Souls, Ornstein and Smough, which is one of the most ridiculous fights in any game. These two complement each other so perfectly. Ornstein's speed with Smough's strength. Every time Ornstein rushes in, Smough is always behind him, charging in, ready to smash you into the dirt. Although after the 9 hours of experience that I had on this fight, I think it's safe to say that I've mastered it. Ignore my death. And the Zweihander definitely helps cheese this fight, but ding, 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 goodbye Ornstein. And now this boss fight's super easy. The first boss in the franchise to have 2 phases. If you think you're done, well, now you have Super Smough or Super Ornstein to deal with. And while it is easier than the first phase, I still wouldn't underestimate them because they still have insane fucking damage. But I wouldn't know because this sword barely even lets Smough swing. But that fight was all worth it because you get the keys to Guinevere's hot and steamy bedroom. And get given the Lord Vessel, and congratulations, you've reached the second half of the game. Now it's time for the last 4 main bosses. Let's start with the 40 Kings. This is a great boss fight with how intense it is trying to kill one before the next spawns, and fighting them in the Abyss makes it even cooler. But in order to even survive the Abyss, we have to get Artorias' ring from the best boy ever, Sith.
I'm sorry about this, Sith.
Then it's actually time to get to the 4 Kings through the hardest place in the game, New Londo Ruins. I went through here earlier in the game for the giant dats and holy fuck, these ghosts are annoying. But still, this area is pretty fun and unique. After that, it's time for the hardest area in the game, Tomb of the Giants. This is lazy done right. Apparently, From Software had to rush a bit on the latter half of this game, which led to this dark hellhole because it was easy to develop. Once again, a very unique area. The only other time I can think of a pure black area in any of these games is the gutter from Dark Souls 2. But even though this place is very memorable, God, it pissed me off. There is so much horseshit here. These archers, these dog skeletons, these weird things, patches, go fuck yourself, you bald prick. The skeleton beasts especially are probably my most despised enemy in this game, because they never fucking stop. Now I have the Chaos Zweihander and... these enemies aren't that hard anymore. Once you're done with Tomb of the Giants, you make it to a bunch of pinwheels.
Oh, okay, give me the Father Mask. I hope you fucking burn in hell.
Then it's time for the next of the big 4, Gravelord Nito. This is my favorite skeleton boss in the franchise. The main reason is just because of how fucking cool he looks. I don't know why, but that weird dark trench coat thing along with all the skeletons on him just makes him look really cool. And the boss fight is also really fun, minus this part. It's a gang boss fight that's not complete bullshit because like a genius, Nito kills his own army. But I must say I've never really had a hard time with Nito. Rest in peace again. Back to Anor Londo and off to the Duke's Archives. This place actually has some pretty cool and unique moments. Fighting Seath for the first time when he's impossible.
Let me just put this ring on for no reason. Bring it on, Seath. Okay, goodbye.
Getting in prison and escaping because the guard's a tired idiot, having this horrific music blasted into your ears with everyone running away, and then using these stairs trying to make your way back up to Seath. The worst part about Duke's Archives is when these mages decide to buff these stupid fucking crystals, and God, why does your frail ass have to do so much damage? But you make it back to Seath, and while he does look cool, this is a pretty boring boss. Break his invincibility, beat his ass, that's basically it. You also have to avoid getting cursed. God damn it, I was so close to going through a full playthrough without getting cursed. And off to the final of the 4, Bed of Chaos. But first we have to go through the hardest area in the game, Lost Izalith. But before we can do that, we have to beat Erectile Dysfunction. Okay, I beat him. And now off to Lost Izalith for real.
Okay, everybody, calm down. I'm just trying to get the Chaos Ember and I'll be out of here. Just let me pass.
I've seen a lot of people hate on this area and I never really understood it. Sure, it's not the best, I mean there's just a fuck ton of reused enemy types, but I still think it's kinda cool. But yeah, this is probably the most boring of the big 4 places. But speaking of boring, it's time for the worst boss fight in this game, Demon Fire Sage. Why? Why was this fat fuck reused 3 times? The first time was good. The second time, it was an optional boss, so I guess I could give you a pass. The third time, go fuck yourself. There was literally no point for this lazy ass boss considering that the very next room was the Centipede Demon. They literally could have just had this room be a hall or some enemies and then you go fight the Centipede Demon and everything would have been good. But instead they reused this guy and made themselves look lazy as fuck, because they were. Centipede Demon is also really easy, but he gives you a ring that lets you walk on lava, so I'm not complaining. Then it's time for the Bed of Chaos, and I'm pretty sure this is everyone's least favorite boss.
This boss fight's easy as fuck.
I first tried her here, and even on my first playthrough I beat her pretty fast, and while I can't understand why people would have a hard time with this boss, it's literally just playing carefully. Just wait for a swipe and watch where the ground falls and avoid that ground. The only difficult part is her pushing you into those holes, and yeah, that's bullshit, but just move after she swings or just try to iframe through it to lower the chances. And the final part is even easier. Wait for the swipe, hop into her glory hole, dig through her pubes, and rest in peace, Bed of Chaos. And with that, all 4 lords have been killed, and now it's time to open the gate to the kiln of the first flame. You walk through this badass hallway, kill a couple black knights, and we have our final showdown with Gwyn. This is one of my favorite boss fights in the franchise, and as cheesy as it sounds, this boss gave me goosebumps the first time I fought him. The somber piano was the last thing I was expecting. Fighting him without parrying is badass as hell because of how aggressive he is, and how he gives you no time to swing. But as you can see, I parried the shit out of him.
And goodbye. You had a good run.
After that, you have 2 choices for the ending: to Link the Fire or the Dark Lord ending. And with the way these games' lore is presented, none of these are necessarily bad. After that, you get the end credits, and that's Dark Souls 1.
Dark Souls 1, it's timeless, honestly. And even after 10 years, it's still so damn good. But I think I figured out why I like Dark Souls 1 so damn much. Because it's the prequel to Dark Souls 2.